welcome to this very, very special episode of the Ready for Pushback podcast. And today we have someone very, very special on. We have Rishi from the PocketRishi YouTube channel. Hi.
Hey Zach, thank you for having me on the podcast. It's been a pleasure to be on the podcast. And originally, I'm sure we originally met when I joined LL Virtual a few months ago. So it's been a pleasure knowing you since then as well. And thank you for having me on the podcast and for the nice introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. So I'm going to ask you a few questions and, please answer them, to the best of your ability. So my first question for you is, where did you get your love for aviation and how has it grown on you all this time?
So I think I love maps. I love looking at maps when I'm procrastinating, when I have free time. I'm always looking at Google Maps. So I think to me, airplanes are the best means of transport between points on the map. So I think that's why I like aviation, because I like geography as well. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. The next question I have for you is, how has it been transforming into one of the most popular people in the IFC? Do you ever feel any pressure when posting things or anything?
So to be honest, I don't know how I can describe my journey on the IFC, but with the pressure part, I don't really feel any pressure, to be honest, when I'm posting. It's mainly, I'm more worried about the video itself and if people will find any flaws in the video, but mainly there's no really pressure.
Congratulations on all your success in YouTube, because from your channel analytics, you're at 24.9 thousand subs. You're so close to the big 25,000, and you have over 5.5 million views. What do you think has led to your success?
To be honest, it's a mix of everything. It's persistence, is quality, I hope, is also consistency in the early days, and also luck. Now I'll talk about luck. With luck, I think I got really lucky because I started uploading a lot of global videos right when global came out in October 2017. So with that, I was able to build a base very quickly of viewers. And I think from them, I kept on making videos. I think that's really helped me out because I was one of the first to make videos after global came out consistently. And I think that's been a big factor in my growth today.
Yeah, and do you have any bias towards a plane in the game? Is there a specific plane in a livery that you like to fly the most just because you like it?
I think definitely A350. I have a huge bias towards the plane. I love the plane as it is, and I don't know. I'm not sure, but in the reviews, I do like find the Qatar Airways A350 a lot.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I've flown that a few times. I think I flew that once between New York and Doha. I flew that one once or twice, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to do that tomorrow as well for the FNF to the Doha.
And then, so how long does it take you to usually edit all your videos? And is it strategic where you decide to place advertisements for YouTube?
Okay, first I'll answer the video about the duration. It usually takes me about 2 hours or about 3 hours to edit one video. So about 3 hours. In terms of recording, it takes me about 40% to 60% of the flight time. In terms of recording the total duration. And as for your question about advertisements, you couldn't place advertisements specifically on your video if it's shorter than 10 minutes. So I don't have that option to choose where the advertisements go.
Interesting. I didn't know that. So yeah, that's very interesting. I learn something new every day, I guess. So a lot of people, there's a lot of YouTubers who do infinite flight, and people aspire to be like you, and they really look up to you of being the big infinite flight YouTuber. So what are some filming techniques that you use to make your videos unique, and what is the best way for you to get your shots so they're clear and consistent?
But firstly, that's a great question. And I think one of the techniques I use is I plan every single of the shots I take and also plan the music I'll be using. So I think I plan every single second of the video I'll be making. So that really helps me try to pick out shots or camera angles that I think will be suitable in the final video, and to make sure that I have variety as well in my shots. For the best way to get the shots, I think that's really the free cam as well. I think the free cam is the best way to get the shots alongside the logs free cam as well, and also to use the replay mode. A lot of people don't use the replay mode. I think you really should use the replay mode because it helps you get really clear shots, and you can do it as many times as you want to get the perfect take.
What is the best way for you to deal with hate? Because all YouTubers get hate, and they are all able to come over in different ways. So what's your best way to just get rid of all the hate and just ignore it?
Well, I've been very fortunate not to have too much hate on my videos. I have constructive criticism, but nothing too bad. But I've seen on other YouTubers' channels that they have a lot of people who spam dislikes on multiple videos, and that could be really demoralizing for them. I think the best way to deal with hate, I know it's a bit hard, but it's probably the best way is to ignore it, not to get mad if someone put dislikes on videos, because by getting mad, by replying to them, it only emboldens them to dislike more and to maybe get you more angry as well. So I think the best way is to ignore it, try not to get in fights with people who are only going to waste your time.
And what's your favorite place you've ever visited in the world? Why?
I think I haven't visited too many places, but I think the best favorite one is going to be New Zealand. I went there 5 years ago. I think the mountains and everything, they have amazing scenery. I would love to go there again.
Mhm. And if you weren't able to be a pilot, what would you want to be as your job?
Well, I'm currently in college. I'm not going to be a pilot, but I think one of the jobs I really would like to have is a route planner, like a network strategist at an airline. I really like looking at maps. Like I said before, also like economics. I think that would be a really nice job to have, to decide which routes to fly, which airplanes to put on these routes as well.
And that leads me right into your next question. What's your favorite airline? So who would you want to work for if you had the direct option to work for anyone in the world?
My favorite airline that I've flown would be Singapore Airlines. And if I want to work for any airline, definitely Qantas is a great airline based right in Australia. I would definitely go with them if I had the choice.
Yeah. So obviously, Australia is in lockdown right now. So what's kept you going through lockdown? Do you have any indoor hobbies other than aviation that you enjoy that kept you going?
Well, I guess you can put video making as another hobby, but one of the other hobbies I've picked up is listening to audiobooks. That's not something I did before. With lockdown, I had a lot of time to listen to audiobooks, especially if I'm running or something. So yeah, that's one of the hobbies I picked up. I couldn't stop doing it every day now.
And then what's your favorite flight you've ever actually been on yourself? Why?
I think I would say Melbourne to Auckland. That's when I went to New Zealand. I think that's my favorite flight. And also maybe Queenstown to Auckland that I flew as well. So especially on the Queenstown to Auckland flight, the flight itself wasn't great, but the views were amazing. I love seeing the scenery outside of the window.
Who were you flying on those routes?
To go from Melbourne to Auckland, I flew Emirates A380 when they flew the route. For Queenstown to Auckland, I flew Jetstar.
I want to go to Australia one day, and when I go, I want to do the whole, Australia. I just want to get every airline in Australia. So I'll fly in
Mm-hmm.
on Virgin Australia. We'll see if it's still a thing then.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fly out on Qantas or something like that. And then maybe I'll take like a few Jetstar or some other regional airline in there to get throughout the cities. And that's definitely something I would want to do one day whenever I go down to Australia. Um, okay, so the last question is, what is your one pet peeve that people do in infinite flight that just triggers you?
So one of the biggest pet peeves is people not parking the correct gates as well, especially when it's a group flight or do on Discord. It really makes me angry when people park at the wrong gates. Or when they park at a domestic terminal instead of the international, even when you tell them not to park there. I think that's one of my pet peeves. I really hate when people do that because it ruins the whole mood of the flight.
Thank you so much for coming out for this interview. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for doing this. The whole team really appreciates it.
Thank you, Zach, for sending me the DM. I'm sorry for flying late to it, but I'm glad we picked the time really quickly, that we were able to make this happen really in a short amount of time. Thank you for having me on the podcast. It's a pleasure. It's my first podcast. It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, everyone, if you want some great content, please go ahead and click that subscribe button below. I do Ready for Pushback interviews. I do Infinite Flight. I do flight reviews, of course. And please feel free to browse my channel. Some links are above right now. So yeah, everyone, thank you so much for watching today's video, and goodbye.